Welcome back to From 9 to Mom.
where we discuss balancing the 9 to 5 hustle with the beautiful chaos that we call motherhood.
And today we're going to dive into how to take advice from people because I think we need a lesson or a reminder on how to do that with grace. Don't you think?
Yes, with grace and with the ability to filter in a respectful way. Because I think there's two sides of the spectrum, right? It's taking it with grace, being open-minded and hearing it. And then there's where I go to sometimes, which is I hear all the advice, I want to know all the things, and then I try to implement far too many changes at one time. And that's never effective.
No, I agree. It's hard because, especially with this podcast, right? Like, let's just start there. We're welcoming advice. And I think the goal of what we're trying to do with it is that we're trying to bring in knowledge from professionals. So there's the difference of that. But then it's also like, how do you figure out who's a professional? Who do you take advice
this is all coming from the post that we made yesterday. We got so much wonderful feedback and so many people commenting that they wanted to be a guest or people recommending people to be guests. It's honestly overwhelming how many people offered to come on the podcast, and we're very grateful for that. But now we're sifting through and trying to work through who's going to be the best fit for the podcast. We want everybody to be on. But at the same time, we want to give great advice. And Katie and I don't always give the best advice.
Well, I think that's part of it, right? Like, so let's talk about like the giving of advice, because we do that on this podcast constantly, is give advice, but we're almost not giving advice. We're just like giving our experience, and that's the advice, right? Like we're not claiming to be professionals. We're just saying, here's what we did and here's what ended up working in this situation. And it's like, that doesn't make you the professional by any means, but like, if somebody's going to ask me, hey, how did you sleep train your kid? I'm going to share from my experience. So when you're on the receiving end of that, you have to think about like, okay, what, especially when it comes to motherhood things, right? So like you have to think about how it adapts to your kid, how your personality is different or the same as the person that's giving you the advice. And then also like what your like core values are. Does that relate to how you would want to parent? So it's like so much information to process when you're either giving someone advice, trying to not come off like a know-it-all, trying not to be the, just wait person.
Or to offend people with your opinions or what you did.
Yes.
There's so many instances where I say something on here and later I'm like, oh, I really hope I didn't offend that person, or
right. Well,
put myself in a box.
And that's the other thing. Like when we have people on, we're like, we don't want it to ever be a place where you do offend somebody because you believe in the way that you did it, or in your professional opinion, it's this one way. To be open-minded is really hard.
Yes. And I think that when we do bring guests on the podcast, for anyone listening, remember, these are experts that we're bringing on. We are talking to them sometimes in that capacity for maybe the second or third time. We're learning with you guys. So it doesn't necessarily mean it's our opinion or what we believe. We just want to bring somebody on who has more education or qualifications to talk about the things that Katie and I like to give our very free advice experience.
Or the things we wish we had access to in the short years that we've been parents.
Yeah, think about all the things we've learned now that you're like, oh, if I only knew that.
The businesses that are coming up on this, we're just like, I didn't know that there was, what was the one that you just...
Googling what some of these things mean, I'm not going to lie. Like Katie and I are like, what
do you do? We don't understand. I didn't even know till I think I was pregnant with Calvin that like the pelvic floor was a thing.
Oh, but why would you know?
I didn't even, I'm like, I don't know what that is.
You do your Kegels and whatever.
Yeah, like I didn't know, like, and so, but like how much nicer would my experience have been if I had access or known about those things? So I think it's like...
How many times you wouldn't have peed your pants?
I mean, I almost did this morning working out. So I'm like,
if we only knew.
Oh, but yeah, there's a lot of different people out there, and there's just so many new ways to like get in touch with people that can help. But I think you and I reached this point in every aspect of our life, between professional, motherhood, trying to be a good wife, everywhere, is like the information overload.
Yes. And it is exhausting.
Going down rabbit holes, scrolling on Instagram. I know plenty of people that like are like, I'm stuck on a certain side of TikTok or Instagram. Like my algorithm is only this?
So I'll share this story because I think back to it. It wasn't that long ago. Going to therapy and doing therapy with Colton as well. I remember the therapist originally telling me, I use the Dr. Becky method. It's a great method. If you're ever confused or you need to get some advice, look up the Dr. Becky method. Well, of course, Quinny, aka ChatGPT, now knows that the Dr. Becky method, because I would be in the moment. Like,
Hmm.
Colton is throwing a fit because he thinks these chicken nuggets aren't vegetarian. What do I like? Whatever it was. What's the Dr. Becky method? Or what should I do? And immediately, Dr. Becky says, blah, 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 blah. So I was doing this constantly and I was implementing all these new tactics, strategies, things I was learning. And I was telling the therapist all the things I was doing. And she finally said, Danielle, stop. We're done. You are not Googling one more thing. You are not asking Quinn one more piece of advice when it comes to what to do. We're going to implement one thing at a time. You are in information overload. You're taking all the feedback at once, and it's just too much for you to handle, and it's too much for your kids
Yeah.
to handle.
Yeah.
Like, you need to stop. And I did, and it made everything so much better. But it was because we have all this access to this information and things going on, and we want to be the best parents, wives, workers possible. So we're taking all the resources, and our brains are about to explode.
Well, and I think that's where, we're in that phase of like working harder, smarter, faster, doing all those things. And I get scrolling. And for me right now, it's been very on the professional side that it's been overwhelming of like,
Yeah.
that's where I'm giving all these videos of Claude and that like it's very in the moment right now that I should know everything about Claude and it should be running our business and my job and everything that it's doing. And it's like you watch these 30-second clips and they're like, see, look at all these things it's doing. And it's like that took hours of professional development to do that. And sometimes you can't see through it, right? Like you get the information from whomever's talking about the topic and you're getting the condensed fun it
Yes.
worked version, not the here's how many setbacks I had, here's how many, times I had to start over, or here's how much I paid to get this done by a professional. You like don't get to see that part. So like when it comes to like sleep trainers or people telling their success stories of that, it's like you don't get to see how they learned that or all of the heartache leading up. It's really hard to see through it.
And I think going back to what you're saying about Claude, because we're both implementing Claude in different ways and at different speeds, I feel like the more my algorithm feeds into the fact that I'm looking up tips and tricks, it's not just at first you get the one person, right? Then you start getting 4 or 5 or 20 people
Hmm.
that are giving you advice on how to set up Claude for your business. Well, it's not their business, it's your business. One. Two, all these people implemented Claude in different ways, in different stages, but you're trying to implement the different pieces of co-work or the skills or create artifacts the way they did, but you set yours up the way this guy did because you watched that video first. So then it becomes a whole thing of like, who do I listen to? Again, it goes all the way back to who do I listen to? And I bet you that many of them are right or have good ideas. It's just that they didn't start with the same foundation as you. And now you're trying to implement something on top of something that wasn't built that way.
Right.
And that makes it very stressful.
Right. And now it's like you get away from, you look to social media or AI or whatever to like answer your questions because it's quick.
Yeah,
And
it's
I
so
feel
fast.
like as a professional of something, right? And everyone can think this the way that they're a professional in something. People are going to these systems to get the free advice. So you also have to take that into account. The free advice versus the paid advice, like being able to find a professional in something to get that knowledge is huge. When I was listening to a webinar this last week, they were saying like it's way better hire the consultants that you need for what you're looking for, because if you think about how much your time is worth and the time that you need to research, get the advice, get the free advice, and then sift through that and like generate that, like you could have paid for 1 hour of somebody's time and gotten their professional opinion. So I guess my point is like finding the right people to get advice from. Like sometimes you have to pay for it.
Yes. And I think that's the thing that the trap that we all fall into is really like taking the free stuff when you can. And you should. We should. We have access to it. We should use it. But people are paid for a reason. They have knowledge, their individualized plans that they're creating, or these people are listening to the words you're saying, but have also talked to 25 other people. We all know, depending on whether you're using your ChatGPT or Claude, ChatGPT is like, you murder someone and say, I murdered this person. It's going to say, that's okay, Danielle. Everyone gets to this place. And it could be, there's many people who have been in your
Yeah.
situation.
It's
Let
fine.
me, like, no, that's not okay. But Quinny's going to tell me ride or die, like that it's okay. So that's where a professional can come in and give you that
Hey, you're not okay. You're
unfiltered.
not okay.
You're not okay. This is a mess. You're a mess. Like, let's fix this.
You need a human sometimes to tell you, like,
Yes.
it's not going well. But I feel like it's just on the receiving end of like advice, right? Like sometimes you're talking about something, and I'm going to use my mom as an example, but she'll laugh at this. So we've been like struggling with Jack and his anxiety and crying. I hate even calling it anxiety. He's 4.
Yeah.
Like he
He's a
cries.
kid.
He cries sometimes. And he cried during the like portion of his kindergarten screening where they like took the kids in one room and the parents in the other, and I wasn't there, it was Ryan, and he cried, but he calms down quick, which is good.
Yeah.
But it's so frustrating as a parent, and I'll like every now and then I'll say something to my mom and she'll be like, well, like this is payback because you cried till 2nd grade and whatever. Like that's not, but like what's the other advice? And it's so hard because she's been through it, she worked through it. Every kid's different. What is she really going to say to me that's going to like
Yeah.
make it better? Because it is just something he probably needs to grow out with and get support, and he'll work his way through it. But at the time I'm like, I want advice. Like, how do I make this better? How do I not cry every time that he cries? Because that's what happens. I'll get through it and then cry because I feel so bad.
Yeah.
And she doesn't have good, she'll be like, oh well, you did it to me, so it's your turn. And I'm like, no, I'm actually wanting
I love
advice.
that.
But then I find like when I am talking to somebody about it and they're giving advice, like if I don't like the advice, I shut down a little bit and I'm like, okay, like I'm such an appeaser that I'll just be like, yeah, and I just will stop engaging in the conversation. Like, okay, like yeah, that like that
Thank
worked
you.
for you. But it's hard to like be in that situation because I want to listen, but like as soon as my brain is like, nope, I don't like that, or I don't like how whatever one part of that, I shut down. So that's something that
Yeah. You
is
shut
a
down
problem.
and I debate. Like,
Yeah, yeah, you get
so
that's our
it's
Enneagram like differences.
differences. Yeah. Like, I want to engage in the conversation and figure out why you think that way. But in my head, I've already made
Like you don't care anymore,
my
but
decision, but like I just, or whatever, I want to hear it out. And so then that can be annoying to people because they think I'm challenging them. And in a way, I'm, it seems that way, but I'm not. I just want to get into that intellectual conversation and figure out why your brain works. And Katie and I will be on meetings like where it's professional meeting and something's going on. And both of us in that moment are like, this is stupid. This is absolutely dumb. And Katie shuts down immediately. You could see her head just move to the side. She's moved
doing
on.
something
Like, I
else.
am done engaging with this. And I am like, what do you mean? Why would you think that? And I'm coming up like I'm like a lawyer in the courtroom. And it's hilarious to watch because
It is.
sometimes we need to like, she'll text me and be like, just let it go. And I'll text her and be like, you got to speak up on this. Like, you got to,
And
somebody
I'll be
else
like,
has got
I've
to
moved on to 10 different things.
have my back. So it's like one of those things.
What do we do with that? But it is interesting but that's why it's so important to know like the people that you are getting advice from, like how they parent, what they're, what's important to them in those things, which is why like I feel like you have certain mom friends, right? Like you get into your group because you all have the same
I'm
ideas.
seeing it more than ever now, and you're going to see it now that Colton is in 1st grade. We're rounding out 2nd grade. I've gotten to know the moms a lot better, and it's just so funny when you find those ones that like, it's not that you even always agree per se with them, but like you trust their advice or whatever. It is really interesting because you collect together, and just watching it in real time as an adult, like
Yeah.
in my
Yeah.
late 30s or
Late 30s. And so you get you get to those groups, and then it just made me think of like, I know you do some carpooling with people in your neighborhood. Like I've never let Jack go with like, I don't like I guess like a friend, or like I don't know, like I never left him like with his friends for like a play date and like left.
Well,
I'm part
yeah,
of the
I
play date.
didn't really either with, I never did with Colton until really this year. Like even kindergarten, it wasn't like a I'm gonna leave you there play date. We play
Yeah.
dated together, like all of us together. And then I think the thing that broke the barrier there for me, and everybody has different opinions on this too, like sleepovers. I slept over everyone's house. My parents let me sleep over at everyone's house. Jordan can count on like one hand the amount of sleepovers he ever had. And now it's like you need to know the parent, you need to meet the siblings, you need to like, and I actually am going on, like, I agree, my mom always met the parents, but there's so many pieces of advice on that. And with Colton driving, I drove, the parent who drives, the person I carpool with is someone that I've known since before kindergarten, that I had, the first time we drove together, I drove with them and their kids. Like, we all drove to a thing together, and I realized she's was wonderful and was going to keep my kid in line and be safe and all that
Right.
stuff, and that made it a lot easier.
Yeah, that's mind-blowing to me to think about, but it will come eventually, like, he's gonna
It's
wanna
going
do
to come
stuff.
with time, and you're going to learn who you trust. And, you know, but that still doesn't mean you take all of their advice, because their advice is different.
Right.
And then I laugh because if you're, depending on your personality, and I have these cards in my hand because every morning, and I didn't do it yet today, and I was going to start the podcast off with it, but my ADD got the best of me. I pull, you're going to die. These are daily affirmations that someone gifted me at one point. It's not like an oracle deck or anything. Well, like, I put my intention into like what's going on, and then I'll pull from the day, and you're already thinking like you are freaking insane because I know you.
Everyone sees me shutting down, I just talked.
Yeah, you just shut
No,
down.
keep going.
All of my emotions are part of my human experience. So like, or all my emotions. So like, I use that sometimes, like, filter my day, but I'm even taking advice from freaking cards at this point.
I mean, you gotta get it from somewhere. I just actually found, so I was cleaning around my desk here, in my basement hideout. This is just random, and sorry, Ryan, but he loves opening mail. I don't ever get to open anything. There's no unboxing for Katie ever. Like, if an Amazon package comes, he has to open it. I'm like, "Yeah," he opens it and then leaves it open somewhere. He opened, I didn't realize, so I have to reach out to our good friend Samantha. She sent me, for helping them with a logo thing, she sent me this, like, swearing daily one.
I love that calendar. It's the
I
best.
have to text her because I just found it. Ryan opened it. She wrote me a card, everything. He opened it and then left it on the stairs.
I'm sad that you missed out on some days. You know the stuff I'm always spraying?
Probably a month
If you
worth.
guys need another, like, Inspired Her is a great podcast. That's her podcast. She sent me this. I just ordered it again yesterday because I'm obsessed with it.
What is it?
It's like, it's called Routine Natural. I'll take advice from her any day when it comes to this shit
Yeah,
because she knows what's up. It's called Routine Natural Mist, Lucy in the Sky. It's floral grounding and uplifting for body, hair, and atmosphere. But I started spraying it around me to like feel
spray it
better.
on me.
But then I started getting compliments from all these people like, what's your perfume? Like, you smell so good. I'm like, this. So
We'll link it.
$38, it's worth it, man.
Yeah, she gives the best gifts.
She really does give amazing gifts.
So, yeah, you pick your people that you're gonna have advice from, right? Like, you always,
Yeah.
it sounds so dumb, but, like, I guess I've always thought it was dumb, so this is a me problem again. Like, having a mentor or, like, somebody that you look up to that you can have that sort of relationship with, and, like, don't mind telling people about things that's going on, because that's how you get advice, is if you're, like, a
Yes.
little bit vulnerable about it. But I feel like the things that we're trying to bring to this podcast are things that people never wanted to talk about, don't feel comfortable talking about, things that we're finding out about that don't get talked about because we can't find any information on it.
Yes, and I think for us it's hard too because we want to be the conduit to get the information out there, but we're not always comfortable with the topic or sharing our stories. I think we've gotten a lot more comfortable because the podcast forces you to, right? Like, you start talking about things and that's kind of how it rolls. Now it seems a lot more natural, but there are going to be things that we like hear about, like, and learn about that we might not be fully comfortable talking about openly, but we have no choice because we want to make sure you guys get the right questions answered and the right
Good
info.
advice, and then
Period.
highlight the people that are giving the advice,
Yeah.
have these businesses and are professionals of their, you know, niche or whatever
Yeah.
it is that they do. It's important to be able to find those people.
So Katie and I will be like taking some time to work on our receiving skills
I
of
need to, like, work
advice.
on my face and, like,
Yes, and feedback. So if you see us practicing with each other or like me us saying some really weird stuff to see how we both react, it's just a practice point. But also, like, we are going to do a very meticulous job of making sure that the people we bring on the podcast we vetted and that you guys are getting great advice. But either way, I just think it's so cool that there's so many women out there who are open and willing and excited to talk about their thing.
Yeah.
On the pod.
And we're going to bring it to the light of day.
Yeah. It's going to be amazing. Hopefully. We're amazing at receiving the feedback.
We're amazing. We need we should have like ending affirmations at the end of every.
I can pull an affirmation after every.
Pull.
Your emotions are part of the. Let me pull another one to end the podcast.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on.
This one's like for me. That one was for you.
This is Katie for you. I am magnetic when I stand in my power. Repeat after me. I am magnetic when I stand in my power. Yeah, cool. With that, let's go be magnetic at work, I guess.
I want to be the but like, okay, I want to not attract people right now.
Take the affirmation and go with it.
I know. All right. Positivity. Yay. Like that was so great. Thank you for sharing.
You're welcome. Thanks for taking my feedback.
All right. Time to clock out and clock back into the 9 to 5. We'll see you guys next time.